Did you know that there is a house style that was designed over 300 years ago, specifically to handle flooding, brutal summer heat, heavy rain, and hurricane-force winds? And it is making a massive comeback in 2026 as one of the most affordable and livable small home designs in the entire South. This is the Acadian Cajun Cottage. And if you have never heard of it, you are missing out on one of the most practical, beautiful, and honestly brilliant pieces of American housing history. I'm going to take you through exactly what makes this design so special. The history, the architecture, how it was built to survive Louisiana's toughest conditions, what it costs to build one today, and why so many people in 2026 are choosing this style as their primary home or their affordable forever home. And I'm going to be straight with you. No fluff, no hype, just real numbers and real details. So stay with me, because toward the end of this video, I am going to show you what a modern Acadian Cajun cottage actually costs to build per square foot in 2026, and the number might genuinely surprise you. Before we dive in, if you are new here, this channel is all about real, honest information on affordable home designs and alternative housing. No sponsored fluff, no hidden agendas. If that sounds like something you need in your life, hit subscribe and the notification bell right now so you never miss a video. And if you stick around to the end of this one, I promise you will walk away knowing exactly whether an Acadian cottage is the right build for you. To understand the Acadian Cajun Cottage, you have to go back to the 1600s, and this story is a dramatic one. The Acadians were French settlers who originally established communities in what is now Nova Scotia and New Brunswick in Canada, a region they called Acadia. They were farmers, fishermen, and craftsmen, and they built their homes using French design traditions adapted to the cold Canadian climate. Then, between 1755 and 1763, something devastating happened. The British colonial government forcibly expelled the Acadian people from their homeland in what historians call a grand arrangement, the Great Upheaval. Thousands of Acadian families were torn from their homes, their communities destroyed, and most of their original structures were demolished. Many of those exiled Acadians eventually made their way south, all the way to Louisiana, which was then under French and Spanish colonial control. Over time, the name Acadian evolved into the word we all know today, Cajun. And when these Cajun settlers arrived in Louisiana's bayou country, they faced a completely different environment than anything they had ever built for before. Instead of cold Canadian winters, they were dealing with intense humidity, tropical heat, heavy seasonal flooding, and frequent violent storms. So they did what resourceful people do: they adapted. They took their French building traditions and completely reinvented them for the Louisiana landscape. And the result was the Acadian Cajun Cottage, one of the most climate-responsive house designs in American history. The earliest Cajun cottages were remarkably simple. We are talking about 2 rooms, that is it, often built right on the ground with dirt floors. These first-generation homes reflected the reality of newly arrived settlers with limited resources and no established supply chains. But what they lacked in size, they made up for in engineering intelligence. The roof. The Acadians were expert builders of long-span roof frames. They used tall, peaked gabled roofs specifically designed to shed Louisiana's frequent and heavy rainfall as fast as possible. Water on a steep roof runs off quickly. Water on a flat or gentle slope sits, pools, and eventually causes rot and leaks. These builders knew that. The frame. Early Cajun cottages were constructed from cypress timber, and this was not an accident. Cypress is one of the most rot-resistant, insect-resistant wood species in North America. It was abundant in Louisiana's swampy forests, and the Acadians recognized its value immediately. The timbers were pegged together into rigid frames and then raised up on above-ground piers to protect the structure from flooding and ground moisture. The walls. Here's where it gets really interesting. The early Acadian builders used a technique called basilage, pronounced busohj. This was a mixture of Spanish moss, clay mud, and sometimes animal hair or straw, packed between the cypress timbers to form the wall infill. It served as both insulation and binding material. The Acadians brought this technique from France, where a similar material called basilage entre poteaux, infill between the posts, was used. In Louisiana, Spanish moss replaced the European materials. The color. Early Acadian homes were anything but bland. The color palette included bright ochres, mossy greens, brilliant oranges and reds, and slate blues and grays, colors drawn from the natural landscape around them. The porch. Many of the original structures featured a large covered porch across the front, and sometimes the rear as well. This was not decorative, it was functional. The porch created shaded outdoor living space during the relentless Louisiana summers, protected the front wall of the house from direct rain, and allowed breezes to flow through the structure. Over the following generations, as the Cajun community established itself across southern Louisiana, the cottage design evolved and became more refined. And by the mid to late 1700s and into the 1800s, what we now recognize as the classic Acadian Cajun cottage style had fully emerged. Let me walk you through the defining features, because these are the details that make this style instantly recognizable. Steeply pitched gabled roof. This is the signature element. The steep pitch, often 10, 12, or higher, sheds rain fast, creates usable attic space, and gives the home its distinctive profile. In some designs, the roof extended down over the front porch in a long sweeping overhang, providing shade and rain protection. Architects refer to this distinct change in slope as a broken pitch or bell-cast roof layout. Raised foundation. The traditional Acadian cottage sat on brick or masonry piers, elevating the floor above flood level and improving air circulation underneath the structure. This was essential in Louisiana's flood-prone parishes. Even today, modern Acadian-style builds often incorporate raised slabs or pier foundations as a nod to this tradition and as practical flood mitigation. Wide front porch. Nearly every authentic Acadian design features a generous covered front porch supported by columns. The porch is not a luxury, it is a climate control system. It shades the front walls and windows from direct sun, reducing interior heat gain. In the pre-air conditioning era, a well-designed Acadian porch could make the difference between a comfortable home and an unbearable one. Dormers. Dormer windows punching through the steep roofline are a hallmark of the style. They serve two purposes. They bring natural light and ventilation into the upper floor or attic space, and they add tremendous visual interest to the roofline from the street. Shuttered windows. Traditional Acadian homes featured functioning shutters, not the decorative nailed flat to the wall type you see on so many modern houses. Real shutters that closed and latched, protecting windows from wind, rain, and storm debris. In authentic builds, these shutters were also used to regulate light and airflow throughout the day. Brick or cypress exterior. As Louisiana's economy grew and building materials became more available, the classic basilage walls gave way to brick, sometimes painted, sometimes left exposed, or to board and batten with siding. Both remain common choices in modern Acadian designs. Symmetrical or near-symmetrical facade. The front elevation of an Acadian cottage tends towards symmetry. A centered entry door, matching windows on either side, balanced porch columns. This gives the home a calm, dignified appearance that has aged beautifully across 3 centuries. Now, here's the part one want you to stay for. In a few minutes, I'm going to give you real 2026 build costs for an Acadian Cajun cottage, broken down by size and finish level. I'm also going to tell you why this style is genuinely one of the smarter choices for people building on a budget in the South today. But first, let me cover the floor plan side of things, because the interior of these homes is just as clever as the exterior. One of the reasons the Acadian cottage has remained so popular over the centuries is that the floor plan is genuinely practical. Let me walk through a typical layout. The classic small cottage. In its most traditional and smallest form, the Acadian cottage is a one-story, single-bay design, meaning it is 1 room deep and 1 or 2 rooms wide, covered by that steep gabled roof. Sizes in the historical period ran from around 400 to 800 square feet, tiny by modern standards, but highly efficient when designed well. The modern cottage layout. Today, designers have expanded on this foundation. A typical modern Acadian-style cottage plan ranges from about 1,200 to 1,800 square feet on the small end. You will usually find 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms arranged in a split bedroom layout, meaning the primary suite is on one side of the home and the secondary bedrooms are on the other, giving everyone a degree of privacy. The open central living area. The heart of the modern Acadian floor plan is an open living, dining, and kitchen zone center between the two bedroom wings. This central zone is specifically designed with aligned front and back openings, typically a front entry facing the porch and French doors opening to a rear patio, so that breezes can flow in a straight line straight through the home. That alignment is what makes the passive cooling work. Air that has to navigate around walls and corners does not cool a house. Air that moves in one side and out the other does. This is a direct inheritance from the original climate-responsive design logic of those 18th century Cajun builders. The bonus loft, or upper level. Because the steep roof creates so much interior volume above the first floor, many Acadian cottage plans incorporate a bonus loft, a second bedroom, or a storage level accessed by a staircase. This is one of the best value features of the design. You get usable square footage that does not require building a full second story. The front porch is outdoor living room. Modern Acadian plans treat the front porch as a true extension of the living space, not an afterthought. You will often see 8 to 12-foot deep porches with space for furniture, ceiling fans, and outdoor dining. Some plans also include a covered rear patio or entertainment area as a second outdoor zone. Key interior details. Authentic Acadian-style interiors often incorporate exposed ceiling beams, warm plaster or painted shiplap walls, brick flooring or painted concrete, arched interior doorways, and traditional iron or wrought metal light fixtures. In more modern interpretations, you might see open wood shelving in the kitchen, subway tile backsplashes, and reclaimed wood accents layered against painted brick. This is actually one of the most important things to understand about the Acadian Cajun Cottage. It was not designed to look pretty. It was designed to survive hurricane and storm resistance. The steep roof pitch, combined with a well-braced hip or gable roof structure, performs well in high winds compared to low-slope roofs. The wide overhangs protect the walls and windows from wind-driven rain. Functioning hurricane shutters on the windows, a traditional feature of this style, add another layer of protection. Flood resilience. The raised foundation is not decorative. It is functional flood mitigation. Even modest elevation of 18 to 36 inches can keep living spaces dry during routine flooding events. For builds in FEMA special flood hazard areas, this feature can also significantly reduce flood insurance premiums. Heat management. Before modern air conditioning, the Acadian cottage managed heat through passive design. The covered front porch shaded the primary wall. The steep roof created a large attic buffer zone above living spaces. Cross-ventilation through opposing windows kept air moving. Thick masonry or basilage walls absorbed daytime heat and released it slowly. All of these strategies are still relevant today, and they reduce air conditioning loads even in modern builds. Modern energy efficiency. Today's Acadian-style homes take these passive strategies and layer modern upgrades on top. Spray foam insulation in the steep roof cavity eliminates the traditional attic heat trap. Double pane, low-E windows reduce solar heat gain while maintaining the traditional look with divided light grills. Metal roofing, a common choice for this style, reflects more solar energy than asphalt shingles and lasts significantly longer. Alright, this is the section I promised you. Let's talk about real numbers. First, the baseline. According to 2026 regional construction data, standard residential builds in Louisiana average around $150 to $160 per square foot. However, because an authentic Acadian cottage requires complex roof framing and a raised foundation, a custom build will typically run between $170 and $200 per square foot. Keep that distinction in mind as we look at the numbers by size. You are not building a tract home here, and the pricing should reflect that. Louisiana still remains among the most affordable places to build in the country. A standard 2,100 square foot production home on a slab averages under $300,000 in total build cost, but a custom architectural style like the Acadian cottage carries a 15 to 20% premium due to the roof framing complexity and raised foundation work. That is a real and honest number you need to plan for. Now let's look at what that means specifically for Acadian cottage sizes. Small cottage, 800 to 1,200 square feet. Because smaller spaces pack the most expensive areas, kitchens and bathrooms, into a tight footprint, they cost more per square foot than larger builds. At $180 to $200 per square foot, you are looking at a total build cost of roughly $145,000 to $230,000. This is a 2-bedroom, one bath or two bath version. The true cottage configuration. Land is separate. Mid-size cottage, 1,200 to 1,800 square feet. This is the sweet spot for most families. 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, open living area, bonus loft. The economy of scale at this size drops the per square foot price slightly, at $170 to $190 per square foot for a mid-grade finish. Total build costs run approximately $230,000 to $340,000. Larger Acadian home, 1,800 to 2,500 square feet, at $175 to $210 per square foot for quality finishes and premium exterior materials. You are looking at approximately $320,000 to $475,000. This is a full family home with 4 bedrooms, multiple bathrooms, upgraded kitchen, and the full architectural treatment. A few important cost notes. 1. Cypress wood, if you want to use it authentically, carries a premium. Expect to pay 30 to 50% more per board foot than standard dimensional lumber. It is worth it for durability in humid climates, but it is a real cost factor. 2. Raising the foundation on piers or a raised slab adds cost up front. Typically $5,000 to $20,000 depending on height and span, but it can reduce flood insurance costs and pay for itself over time in flood-prone areas. 3. A genuine metal roof, which is one of the most authentic and practical roofing choices for this style, costs more than asphalt shingles up front, typically $10,000 to $20,000 more on a cottage-sized home, but it carries a 40 to 50-year lifespan versus 20 to 25 years for shingles. Over time, the math works in favor of metal. 4. Plan costs. If you purchase a pre-drawn Acadian cottage plan from a designer rather than hiring an architect for custom drawings, you can spend as little as $600 to $1,100 for a full plan set. That is a meaningful saving compared to custom architectural fees that can run 10 to 15% of total build cost on a custom project. Here is where it gets really interesting for our channel specifically. The Acadian Cajun Cottage is not just a historical curiosity. It is one of the most actively searched and requested house plan styles going into 2026, particularly in Louisiana, the wider American Southeast, and even in coastal Texas and Mississippi. Why? Several reasons are driving this revival. Climate anxiety. With increasingly intense hurricane seasons, flooding events, and summer heat, buyers and builders are gravitating back toward designs that were actually engineered for these conditions. The Acadian Cottage was not designed to vacuum. It was a direct response to the same weather challenges that southern homeowners are dealing with more intensely than ever today. Affordability. The compact, efficient floor plans of cottage-sized Acadian builds mean less square footage to heat, cool, furnish, and maintain. For buyers who are priced out of larger homes in the current market, the cottage scale of this style is a real advantage. Aesthetic appeal. There is a growing cultural fatigue with the generic builder-grade look. The same beige box repeated across every new subdivision. The Acadian Cottage offers steep roof lines, deep porches, dormer windows, board and batten siding, and arch details that are genuinely distinctive and beautiful. Social media has amplified this appeal significantly. Multi-generational and ADU potential. Smaller Acadian cottages are increasingly being used as accessory dwelling units on family properties, granny flats, in-law suites, adult children starter homes built on a parent's land. The compact footprint, single-story layout, and appealing exterior make them a strong ADU choice. Modern upgrades fit naturally. The traditional features of the Acadian Cottage, thick walls, deep overhangs, cross-ventilation layouts, align naturally with modern energy efficiency goals. Adding spray foam insulation, mini-split HVAC systems, metal roofing, and double-pane windows to a traditional Acadian design creates a home that is both authentic and highly efficient. So who is this design actually for? Let me break it down honestly. You should seriously consider an Acadian Cajun Cottage if you are building in a hot, humid climate, particularly Louisiana, the Gulf Coast, Southeast Texas, Mississippi, Alabama, or Florida. This design was built for your conditions. You want a home with real curb appeal and character without the cost of a custom luxury build. The architectural details of this style, the dormers, the porch columns, the steep roof, deliver a lot of visual impact for the money. You are working with a modest budget and want to maximize livability per square foot. The efficient floor plans and compact footprints of cottage-sized builds keep costs manageable. You are in a flood-prone area or hurricane corridor. The raised foundation and storm-responsive design features are genuine advantages here, not just aesthetics. You are looking for an ADU, a vacation home, or a multi-generational living solution on an existing property. The smaller cottage footprints work excellently in these scenarios. You should think carefully before choosing this style if you are building in a cold northern climate. The design was optimized for hot weather, not winter insulation. While it can be adapted, it is not the most natural fit for Minnesota or Vermont. You need a large amount of square footage, 3,000 to 4,000 square feet and up. While there are large Acadian-style homes, the style's most authentic and cost-effective expression is at the cottage and mid-size scale. You are on a very narrow lot. Many Acadian designs work best on lots with good frontage width to accommodate the wide porch and symmetrical facade. The Acadian Cajun Cottage is one of those rare design stories where everything connects: history, culture, climate, engineering, and genuine beauty, all woven together into a house type that has lasted for more than 3 centuries and is honestly more relevant today than it has been in decades. From those first 2-room cypress cabins built by exiled Cajun families in the Louisiana bayou to the 2026 builds combining steep metal roofs, spray foam insulation, and open-concept living areas, this design has proven that thoughtful architecture built for its specific place and climate is always worth revisiting. If you are building in the South, if you are looking for a home with real character and real resilience, the Acadian Cajun Cottage deserves to be on your short list. If this video gave you something useful, please give it a thumbs up. It really does help more people find this channel. Subscribe if you're not already, because we cover affordable housing designs like this every single week. Drop a comment below and let me know. Have you ever seen an Acadian-style home in person? Or is this a style you would build? I read every comment. And if you want to go deeper on affordable Southern home designs, click the video on screen right now. I think you're going to love it. I will see you in the next one.